Hello, church family. I hope you had a really lovely Easter, even though it probably looked very different to how we might have expected, not least because we couldn't go to church and celebrate it together in that way. It's been really lovely meeting with lots of you at the Sunday evening prayer meetings and also watching sermons online to stay connected. But it's not the same as us meeting together. And at this time where church is looking very different, I wonder if, like me, you've been thinking about when we do get back together and what that's going to look like. And is church going to look different? And I think I'm talking about our church, I'm talking about the church as a whole, but just thinking really locally about our church, how is that going to look different in future? And I think that's probably something that God is speaking to Mike and the elders about, and perhaps he's speaking to your hearts about it too. And our verse today that I'd like to look at is in Matthew 16, and it is verse 18. And it's where Jesus is talking to Peter, and he says this: "And I tell you, you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it." And I want to focus really on the second half of that verse where it says about Jesus will build his church, and the gates of hell, or the gates of Hades, will not will not be able to withstand it. They will not prevail against it. And I think at this time of destruction and change, when we look at what Hades and hell represents, it is death and destruction and darkness. And none of those powers, the gates of Hades, none of those powers will stand against Christ building his church how he wants it to be. And may he build our church. May he build Reigate Baptist Church, or if you're from a different church, may he build your church and the gates of Hades not stand against how he wants that church built. Another thing that I once heard, and I don't know whether this is the correct translation and meaning behind it, but often in the old days, the gates of a city was where the business was done, where the plans were made. And someone I heard talking about this was saying that the gates of Hades would be where the plans, where hell's designs, and where the powers of darkness would be making plans against stuff. And I love to think then that those plans cannot stand against Christ's church and how he wants to build his church. So I wonder if you can go away from today feeling encouraged that Christ will build his church, and nothing, no disease, no outcome of disease, no economic downturn, nothing can stand against how Christ will build his church. And we say, yes, that is true for Reigate Baptist Church, and that is exciting. But how is it going to look in the future? And I wonder, is that something as a church that we need to pray towards? So let's contemplate that this week. See you soon.